In this video, you are invited to dive into the vibrant and energetic world of ninjas, where lightning tears through the sky and the fight for survival never lets up. Two exciting stories transport us to intense and dynamic battles, where heroes and villains face off in a silent but powerful war. The heroes of this journey are formidable, with special abilities, indescribable strengths, and the will to protect their allies at any cost. Into the Raikage Thunder, we witness the brute force of the Raikage and his team of ninjas, where the fate of the fight is defined by the quick and relentless actions of those who know that time and strategy are precious allies. The impact of brutality and perfect tactics create a battle that will bring shivers to even the most skeptical. In the final cut of the blade, the lethal skill of a ninja with the blade in hand challenges the very limits of power. The interplay between strength and cunning is the main theme, with Blade, Sasuke, Omoi and Raikage facing their own inner challenges and relentless adversaries. A journey that not only puts their lives at risk, but also their future as warriors. Prepare to be transported to an arena of strength, honor and sacrifice, where only the strongest and most skilled can dominate the battlefield. 1. Raikage's Thunder. The battle on the battlefield seemed about to reach its climax. The overcast sky made the tension stretch like a curtain that covered the entire arena. The ninjas stood in their formations, awaiting the command. In the center of this fight, Raikage, the unbeatable commander of the allied forces, looked at the enemy with a gaze that conveyed unshakable confidence. His hands were tightly clenched, preparing the field for the power he was about to unleash. "I am the thunder that will fall upon you," he murmured, his chakra already beginning to glow with the energy of an imminent lightning strike. Suddenly, a scream echoed. Raikage's esoterica, lightning-style cross-lariat, was fired at the enemy ninjas. The electrical energy cut through the air with unparalleled force, striking the enemy's front line. 3 ninjas fell to the ground, paralyzed by the impact. Their bodies were filled with pain, and a sense of vulnerability took over them. Interruption, the effect was devastating, the enemies could no longer use their esoterica, and the advantage was now with the Raikage's team. However, the battle was far from being decided. Omoi, with his special abilities, knew that it was not enough to be fast, but also clever. His attack Reverse Obscured Slash was about to be launched. But before he could attack, Omoi's passive kicked in, increasing the damage of all the lightning ninjas. He smiled confidently. The Raikage's energy had been shared, and the destruction would be total. The sword glowed in his hands, and with a decisive move, he made the enemy suffer an intense seal. Sasuke, with a distant and cold look, stood on the field, observing each movement with calculated precision. He knew that the moment to act was coming. Sasuke's esoterica, creation of the unthinkable Chidori continuous slash, could turn the tide of battle. He concentrated and used the power of focus on an ally, granting them immunity to negative status effects and an immense chance of critical damage. Sasuke did not hesitate. His absolute thought slash was launched with precision, and the immobility struck the enemy with deadly force. The battlefield was thrown into chaos as the Raikage team advanced. Blade of Darkness, with his sharp blade and unique skills, sealed the enemy's abilities and advanced furiously. His attacks became more and more devastating, and with each move, he showed his immense strength. The battle seemed to be quickly decided, the enemy's defeat inevitable. But the real surprise came when the enemy team, with the last of their resistance, tried to counterattack. It was Omoi who, with his cautious faction passive, was able to stop any attempts at counterattacks with his damage reduction skill. "There's nowhere left to hide," Omoi thought. Raikage's power, coupled with the exceptional abilities of all his allies, left the enemies with no chance. With his last breath, Raikage's esoterica finished tearing apart the enemy camp, putting a definitive end to the battle. With the enemies defeated, Raikage smiled, looking at the other ninjas. This victory was ours, but remember, lightning is never controlled. It only destroys everything in its path. 2. The final blade slash. The moment the fight began, tension was in the air. The ninjas were poised, ready for action, and the surrounding area seemed to resonate with the energy of weapons and chakra. In the center, Dark Blade, the man who wielded the blade with lethal dexterity, looked around with eerie calm. He knew that the key to victory lay in his ability to control the battlefield with precision. His move would be fatal. The first strike was direct, a brutal and precise skill, Esoterica, sealing blade slash. The horizontal slash passed quickly through the enemy lines, dealing 90% damage, but the sealing effect was the real blow. Enemies could no longer use their Esoterica, and the battlefield was now in Blade's favor. His allies, Raikage and Omoi, were free to take the lead. Raikage, knowing that the advantage was now his, attacked with the cross lariat skill. The damage was devastating. With the Fist of Raging Lightning skill, Raikage had dealt massive damage to up to 4 ninjas on the enemy team, and his ability to reduce the damage he had taken seemed almost superhuman. The pressure was on the enemies, and the fight was becoming a matter of time. Sasuke watched silently, waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. His esoteric, continuous Chidori slash was ready to be unleashed. But the enemy team did not give up easily. They counterattacked with a desperate effort, but the power of Blade's team was too great. Sasuke, with his absolute thought slash skill, isolated the enemies with immobility, and everyone was at his mercy. But Blade, with his final attack, decided that he would be the one to deliver the killing blow. With one final, decisive swing, Dark Blade cut through the battlefield, wreaking havoc in his wake. The enemy stood no chance. His strategy, combined with the destruction of the Raikage and the precision of Omoi, made victory seem inevitable. As the last enemy fell, Blade's team looked around, taking a deep breath. The mission was complete. However, Blade knew that the true battle was always within. The blade must never fail, he said, his gaze fixed firmly on his allies.